the last year and a half, we have said that Assad has to go, but how long, what the modality is, that's a decision that has to be made in the context of the Geneva process and negotiations. We've said for some period of time that it doesn't have to be on day one or month one or whatever. There's a process by which all the parties have to come together and reach an understanding of how this can best be achieved. We need to get to the negotiation. That's what we're looking for. And we hope Russia and Iran, other countries with influence, will help to bring about that, because that's what's preventing this crisis from ending. We're prepared to negotiate. Is Assad prepared to negotiate, really negotiate? Is Russia prepared to bring him to the table and actually find the solution to this violence? Those are the pregnant questions. And we've made it very clear, we've been open, we've made it very clear that we're not being doctrinaire about the specific date or time. We're open. But right now, Assad has refused to have a serious discussion, and Russia has refused to help bring him to the table in order to do that. So that's why we're where we are. With respect to Syria, the Foreign Secretary and I agreed completely on the urgency of nations coming together in order to resolve this war that has gone on for much too long. And it is clear that the challenge to continental Europe, but to everybody, of the migrant population of refugees seeking a better life, cannot be properly addressed just by addressing the numbers of refugees coming into a country or providing more support to them. It has to be addressed by dealing with the root cause, which is the violence in Syria and the lack of hope and possibility of a future that so many people in that region feel as a consequence of the violence that's taking place. To the degree that Russia wants to focus its efforts against ISIL, we welcome that. And we're prepared to try to find the ways to most rapidly and most effectively eliminate ISIL. To do so is not to change one's position or attitude about what Assad has done to his own people, about the crimes that have been committed in the region, but it is to underscore the need for all of us to find a way to get to that elusive political settlement that we've talked about now for a period of time, but which has not yet materialized. There's an urgency, not just to fighting ISIL, there's an urgency to renewing everybody's effort to find the compromise that can produce the political settlement necessary to bring peace and stability to a Syria that is kept whole and secular, unified, where all minorities are protected.
On the question of airstrikes, we've been clear that if we believe at a point in time that it is militarily necessary for Britain to engage in airstrikes in Syria in support of the campaign we're already waging in coalition against ISIL in Iraq, then we will come back to Parliament and seek authorization to do that. We keep that situation under continuous review and we'll continue to talk to our allies about the military situation in the round. But this because of the Russian engagement, the situation in Syria is becoming more complicated, and I think we need to discuss this as part of a much bigger problem: the migration pressures, the humanitarian crisis in Syria, as well as the need to defeat ISIL.